Would everybody please make sure that your cell phones are silenced for the service? We'll start with the unity statements and 5 unity principles inside for this. There is one presence and one power in this church, in our lives, in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. And the 5 unity principles, number 1, God is absolute good, everywhere present. 2, God lives in us, therefore we are inherently good. 3, we are co-creators with God and create our experiences through our thoughts. 4, prayer is creative thinking that heightens our connection with God mind. And 5, it is not enough to simply know these principles. We must live the truth we know. Please turn to page 2 and stand for the Lord's Prayer.
Oh Is that age from you? Should I go first? She's talking about that.
As we come into this time of meditation, let's stay in the joy and energy that we have amplified in these last few minutes. So just taking a moment to place your feet on the ground if you're able to do. Our feet symbolize our foundation and our connection to God and Mother Earth. And if you have anything in your hands, maybe set it to the side. Letting go of the material world. And either close your eyes to go within or gently gaze to a spot that allows you to, again, to go into the I am within. And take a deep breath in. Release. And another deep breath. And exhale. And one more deep inhale. And sigh it out. And feel the change in your physical body. We are in this space together. We breathe in the I am. We exhale the love that is nurtured within us. Sensing into the energy that is this togetherness. Following the next inhale all the way through your nose or mouth down your throat, into the lungs that expand out with the abundance of all the oxygen provides. Lean into the rhythm that is your heartbeat. So too does the heart expand with the inhale. Purified by the oxygen. Releasing in the exhale that which does not serve us. Just follow that inhale, that alchemy in your body, that exhale.
notice that it goes forever within. The divine infinite that is in us and of us. Breathe it in. Become aware of the ease that has arisen within you. Should there be a place of discomfort or thoughts that flow through, allow the thoughts to move as a cloud, passing on with the storm. Leaning into the knowing that we are greater in touch with in these moments. The I am holds you. The I am communicates you. The I am is you. And take another deep breath in. Fill up your lungs as much as you can. And hold it for a moment. And release it. Begin to become aware of the vibration that is your human body. Perhaps wiggling your toes or moving your feet side to side. Becoming aware of this room that you are in. The other divine beings also breathing with you. Another deep breath in. And release. Perhaps a gentle smile to your face. And as you're ready, if your eyes are closed, gently open them. And lift your gaze to take in this divine moment.
pleased to introduce our guest today. Carolyn Durham is a creative visionary and change maker who weaves New Thought spirituality with over 25 years of service as a public defender and community organizer. Grounded in New Thought teachings, she began studying under Bishop Dr. Barbara Louise King. Her work centers on love as a force of healing, empowerment, and community transformation. Integrating Buddhist practices and lineage of Thich Nhat Hanh, Caroline focuses on supporting community activists and individuals impacted by the criminal legal system, particularly in the South. As the founder of Mindful Justice, she designs workshops, retreats, and organizes consulting to address compassion, fatigue, and secondary trauma, empowering people and communities to create lasting change. Please welcome Caroline Durham.
Good morning again. The title for today that arose through me is Be Love, Radiate, and Receive. So we're going to do some swimming in love today. Love. We know that God is love, and love is God, so we're going to do some swimming in God. How many of you seek a place to exhale? Ooh, I do. Right. A place to simply be these days. A welcome home place. We are so glad you were here place. Where you can loosen the armor worn out in the world. Maybe even set it down for a while. Well, here is your place. Unity of New Orleans. Those of us here in the sanctuary in the round, those of us joining on Facebook, who watch on Zoom later, this is a place of love. So welcome home. And thank you for answering that pull to be here this morning. I already feel the emotions in me. I told myself I'd be all right. And what I need to say is, I am all right. And the emotions are there. You are all right, and the emotions are there. And so we come to this place where we are so glad to be. You are love. You are love. You are a divine creation by God, and God is love, creating love through you. There's a way that feels so simple, so why even say it? Because we need to hear it. We need to feel it, and we need to be it. And let me shift that a little bit. We get to hear it. We get to feel it. We get to be it. The armor that I talk about loosening can sometimes prevent us from allowing our love to radiate, and can sometimes prevent us from feeling the love that is there for us to replenish us. So look to your neighbor. Y'all know I do this. Like, look to your neighbor in this place and say with me, neighbor, you are love. Keep looking at the neighbor and say, I am love. And let's make it personal. Say your name. I, Caroline, am love. Do you feel it? I get this beautiful vantage point of seeing the smiles on people's faces. Smiles that have grown in that moment. So again, be love, radiate and receive. Louise Hay says that love is the great miracle cure. And she goes on to say, love in ourselves works miracles in our lives. It is a time for miracles, and we are it. I think about my nephew Joseph. I got to thinking about, there are all sorts of quotes on love. And my nephew Joseph, in his smile, I better get this right, he's 12 now. In his hug is love. So Louise Hay says love is the cure, and my question is, the cure for what? It's the cure for what ails us all. It's the cure for what we are seeing and experiencing in the world. Myrtle Fillmore, who with her husband Charles, as y'all know, co-founded the Unity Church, defines love as the great harmonizer and healer. Whoever calls on God for healing is calling on divine love. So in our awareness of our healing as we radiate and receive, we are both healing and healed. Divine love will bring your own to you, adjust all misunderstandings, and make your life and affairs healthy, happy, harmonious, say it for me, harmonious, and free. Again, that's Myrtle. Coretta King talks about the beloved community that her dear one, Dr. King, spoke of. And she says, for creating the beloved community is a realistic vision of an achievable society. One in which problems and conflicts exist but are resolved peacefully and without bitterness. I lift that up truly not because we have celebrated Dr. King's birthday, but to lift up Mrs. King and her speaking love and the power of it, the power that we have. The idea of the beloved community feels distant sometimes to me today in these times, and perhaps impossible to envision, but what we know is we do envision it, and we must. True students, we must. Keep your eye to the sky of love. Be in the awareness of what's happening in the material world. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. And the fact that we are alchemists. I've mentioned before in times when I've gotten to be here with y'all that I grew up in New Orleans in this neighborhood. I'm not sure I've shared that after graduating from law school, I moved to Minneapolis. And I lived there for almost 30 years. The neighborhoods that we are seeing in the media and on social media, I lived in. My friends live there now. And I will say, as true students, our beloveds are there now. The court battle that's going on with the change agent who went to a church last Sunday to call out the pastor. I know all the players in that federal court because that was where I worked. I mentored the judges. I know the defense attorneys. And so the lived experience on the other end of the river is deep. And here's what I know from your response and me just saying, I lived there. The experience is deep here for you as well. What's happening in that microcosm of those cities weighs in its familiarity in the knowing of the people impacted, but even if it hadn't been a place of home and work for me, where friends and family, community, for almost 3 decades, it would weigh on me as it weighs on you. As can so much in the material world. So again, loosen your armor, because this is a place of love. And take a second and breathe. Because we're here to remind ourselves that we are healers and we are healing each other and in the world. I want to lift up 2 images because of the juxtaposition. 50,000 people stepped out into the streets Minneapolis, St. Paul. In minus 20-degree weather, I cannot even explain to you what it's like. I've been in it. There's a point at which the number doesn't matter. Minus 10, minus 20, it really doesn't. But they stepped out and they're there for hours and hours and hours. And those 50,000 people are love. And up the East Coast, we've got tens of thousands of people who are gathering in love and peace, following a handful of Buddhist monks who are on a walk for peace. And put those two together, that's what we're to look to. That's what we're to look to. I pause here as a reminder that love is in this moment. I pause here for this sort of experiential opportunity to remind us to look to the love, to the God, to the I am that is in every moment. And so today we amplify in the medicine, in the salve, and the power that love is. Love in and through us, love radiated and love received. If you followed the monks on the Peace Walk when they started in Texas, there were a handful of people, maybe a few hundred here and there. And it is literally thousands now that are gathering in high school football stadiums, that are crossing bridges to be with them, that are tending to their feet because many of them are walking barefoot and taking care of the local dog. Radiating and receiving. Matthew 5:16 tells us of our power as divine beings. Just take a second and say out loud, I am a divine being. Say it again, I am a divine being. I am a divine being. So Matthew 5:16 says, the people who dwelt in darkness saw a great light. Upon those who dwelt in the country and in the midst of the shadows of death, light shone. We are that light. We are not the shadows. We got to shine. One of the first times I read Matthew 5:16, I was also drawn oddly to the book of Isaiah. And in my Bible, when I pulled up 5:16 in Matthew, it says, go back to Isaiah. Old Testament, New Testament, it's all teaching us. And so what I found was Isaiah 9:2. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Thousands of years. Those who dwelt in the land of the shadow of death, upon them has the light shined. The light is here, y'all. I want to lift up because there's a metaphysical component to everything in this book. There are gold nuggets hiding out, and we need to take a moment sometimes and dive into them. And so in verse 1 of Isaiah 9, it's telling us where this happened. You know, the Old Testament loves to talk long list of countries and people, and as a child, I was like, it was boring to me. And it was a lot of wars, too. I don't like war, never have. But in those names and in those places, we are taught through metaphysics more. And so these words of Isaiah about the light shining occurs in the land of Naphtali. That's in verse 1. So here's the cool thing about Naphtali, which I didn't know anything about most of my life. It represents wrestling within. Wrestling with the I am. I think that's sort of a Paul Simon or Simon Peter thing. I'm in Jesus, I feel it, and then I have a day where I wake up and it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. How do I get through? How can this be happening? That's the wrestling. Naphtali is physically represented in the body. Now, if we hear about the disciples, right, or each a faculty or each a place in the body, and again, this wasn't new to me. So Naphtali, the wrestling within, is represented in the kidneys. Take a second, just put your hand like you're leaning back. Your kidneys. The role of the kidneys is to remove impurities from the blood. And so Isaiah is telling us that the light shone because we have the ability to remove the impurities from the blood. Again, Isaiah 9:2. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. The light shined. Your light shines. My light shines. And we are beaming as one beacon. So looking a little further about this representation of Naphtali, it talks about when we have been worshiping material things and filling our thoughts with worldly conditions to the exclusion of spiritual. There is a deterioration of the soul quality. So when I get in the rabbit hole of social media, when I get in the rabbit hole of too much of the negativity and the arguments, and I did some of that this week. I was like, oh, time to take this off my phone. We're taking in those toxins because we're distancing ourselves from the spiritual being that we are. That's part of why it feels so bad. And so the medicine, the salve of love, the restorative power is the light of spirit. We grow day by day in spirit, in love. When we do that, we increase our strength. Being purified of toxins in the material world, it's like I need some oxygen or a glass of cool water every moment. We have to remind ourselves and bring ourselves back. The more we be love, and I do mean to say it that way, the more we radiate and receive and get strong in the light of spirit. In the words of Lenny Kravitz, the musician, we gotta let love rule. Isaiah in metaphysics represents the truth that deliverance, abundance, supply, spirituality, and all other forms of good come to us through the spiritual I am. So we've got this abundance of spiritual goodness, the I am that we are, encasing the cleansing of the kidneys of Naphtali to bring us closer to our I amness and talking about the light shown. Y'all, it's cosmically amplified. And so in this container of abundant supply of deliverance into spirituality and forms of good, we shine even brighter. That similar verse is cased in Matthew, which is the faculty of will, the forehead located, the third eye. That verse, the people who dwelt in darkness saw a great light. Matthew represents will, and the will always enters into our decisions. So through love, we're able to use will to stay within the spiritual knowing and to vision the world of peace and love that God has us here to create. Through love, we're able to use our will and surrender old ideas and conditions so that we create a greater increase of good. Myrtle Fillmore tells us, in spiritual practice, will becomes a producer rather than a parasite. What's that mean? When I'm feeding on harm, when I'm not working to heal it, when I'm in the midst of, my mind becomes a parasite, and the will choice to go to what is not amplifying this world, what is not love in this world, it's a parasite. But we have the power with love to make our will amplify. Today, in this moment, we know that we, each of us, is the great shining light, shining love. Now take a moment with this. Love is always both a noun and a verb at the same time. Always. You can't be love, a noun, without loving. In order to love someone or something, you must have love, a noun. Love is always a noun and a verb, and it multiplies through you And in doing so, impacts you in your loving. It expands and deepens into the limitless God self within and goes out forever through you. So you receive love when you radiate love. Pause a moment and feel the upliftment of love that is this space. This sacred, holy space, visioned through God, visioned in love, built with the power of love, the commitment to love. A container of love where we can radiate and receive. Where we can put the armor aside. We are alchemists as true students. We understand we are alchemists able to transform darkness through our light. And it requires reminders over and over and over again. Where are you receiving love? Here, for sure. Where are you being exposed to love? I think of the woman who reached out to touch the hem of Jesus' garment, and he knew it. But here's what I know. We don't have to look far for a garment to touch. And we don't have to do it in a, she kind of was afraid, like, I don't want him to see me. We can step up and stand up and say, I'm needing to have my cup filled. Can you help me? She was looking to receive the love radiating from Jesus, and he knew it, and he gave it. But we all have that power. How many times does Jesus say, that which I do, you do. That's why I'm showing you how to do it. So take a minute again with your neighbor. Look to a neighbor. And say, neighbor, I love you. Say it again. Neighbor, I love you. I've gotten to where I say love to friends and family all the time. I let it sink in, and I have a couple of friends. My friend Pam, I know you're going to watch this. She gets all nervous about it because she's like, what? But she takes it in. When you look in the mirror, look at yourself and say, I love you. And use your name. Caroline, I love you. When you're hanging up the phone, when you're ending the conversation, when you're driving in silence down the street, receive the love of all God's beings you pass. See them loving you. It sounds truth. But sometimes we get caught up feeling like it's going to be Pollyannish. What I'm talking about is a power. We are not giving in to anything. We are standing up and in God's power that is us. Again, Louise Hay says, loving ourselves works miracles in our lives. So y'all, we just simply need to be open to it. And doesn't it feel good when we are? So I hear this question all the time, and sometimes it's a question I'm saying to myself. In the day-to-day, what am I to do in this world? In the midst of all that is the material world, love is an action. And I think I've said this here before. I've certainly said it in spaces like this. We are told to pick up our mat and move. But what am I called to do? Where do I step? What is the step I'm to take? First of all, you're called to be the God love that's been given to you. And my suggestion is to reframe the question. Instead of saying, what am I to do? For me, the question is, what does love call me to do? Or what would love do? So when I get ready to send that hot reply to somebody, is it love? And if I'm allowing spewing to come from me, Am I not clogging up the filter that is this divine being? And pulling myself away from the I am that I am, from the I am that is here and loves me, from all of you. And so again, the question is, what would love do? And I was having this conversation with a dear friend of mine about this week. And what I know is we could each right now pull out a pen and paper and say, what does love call me to do? And start to write. We're all asking the same question. But each of us will receive a different message. Because we're called to do different things. And yet, every message each one of us gets is grounded in the same foundation. The foundation of God, the foundation of love. So in moments of darkness, shine love. You can't help but do it. In moments of doubt, be love. In moments of fear and loneliness, receive love. God is right there with you. Many people in this room are a phone call away. In times of celebrations, we forget about this. In times of celebration, and there are many, let your light shine and be love. And in the moments when you think you're stuck, I get there. Get back in that spot. I can't remember. A couple of suggestions I'm going to give you to remind you. One is Naphtali. Cleanse the yuck of the material world away. How am I going to remember that? What am I to do? I think of my grandmother and how she would put her hands on her hip. That reminder. Red beans and rice, y'all. That's our reminder. What does love call us to do? The other thing I'm going to encourage you to do is listen to the OJs. Some of y'all already know what I'm going to bring up. The OJs told us to get on the love train. The love train. People all over the world join in. Start a love train. Ride the love train. Sometimes you're the passenger on the love train, and sometimes you're at the front stoking it with what makes it go faster. Because we've got each other in this, y'all. We are not alone. So get on board. We've got each other. We've got the light to shine. Amen, and I say, thank you. Caroline, thank you for that lovely inspiration. Now is the time for tithes and offering. Our abundance blessing, divine love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit, it is so now.
Electronic giving is at the front desk of the lobby. Just scan the QR code. Copies of today's service are available on CD at the front desk. Please subscribe to us on YouTube and like us on Facebook. Next Sunday, February 1st, Reverend Fleming will be facilitating our Sunday message. Also on February 1st, after our Sunday service, we will be celebrating our last Sunday before Mardi Gras with King Cake. Everyone is invited. Kristen, would you come up here?
Good morning, everyone. So usually the church is closed the 2 Sundays leading up to Mardi Gras, but this year we're going to have the church open on the week before, not 2 days before, but the week before, which is February 8th, for fellowship. So from about 10 to 3, it's just for the day parades. We will have a tent set up on the neutral ground, and people can bring food, drinks, or chairs. And we're going to try to have a sign-up sheet. You can bring friends, family, and we'll have wristbands, just because we'll probably keep the church locked, just to make sure we don't have a bunch of random people in here. But anyways, so hopefully everybody can come out and hang out for some of the parades.
Thank you, Kristen. Over the next few months, Unity of New Orleans is looking for people to contribute to the creation of our mission and vision statements. If interested in being part of this group, please see Lindia Jones. Lindia? There's Lindia, if you know who to go to now. Are there any new visitors today? Would you please stand and give us your name and tell us how you found us?
Hi, my name is Karen Kitsu, and I belong to Unity of Columbus in Ohio. I'm visiting my niece, and this is my sister Joyce.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Becky Lloyd. I live in New Orleans, and I've just always been curious about the round church on St. Charles Avenue.
My name's James, born and raised, recently moved back, and was looking for churches in the area, and I liked the messages that I saw on the internet, so I'm glad I came.
You can sign up at the front desk and get more information about the church, and also sign up for the newsletter. And this pertains to anybody that hasn't signed up for the newsletter. It's particularly important because all of these announcements that I made today have more information on the newsletter. And also, if you happen to miss a Sunday, you can always get it from the newsletter by Zoom. Prayer chaplains are available after the service. Our chaplains will participate with you in prayer and total confidentiality. They will be in front of the altar here, so we ask that you please honor this sacred space and reserve any after-service conversations for the family room or in the sanctuary lobby. My name is Terry. I'm on the Board of Trustees, on the Building Committee, and the platform speaker. And we invite you to join us with our sacred service and offer any talent that you may have. You may even start your own committee. You can talk to me or any of the board members, or Reverend Stephen. He'll be back next week. But we certainly would like to have you work with us. Okay, prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God encloses us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is all, and all is well. The Lord watches between me and thee while we're absent one from the other, and helps us to know we are all one in spirit, through our Lord Jesus Christ. Please, let's form a circle and say our peace song.